and offerings. of your Son, Jesus, we thank you. For the gift of everyday life, we thank you. For the promise of abundant and eternal life, we thank you. We have this opportunity to express that gratitude through our tithes and our offerings, and we not only offer these monetary gifts, God, but we offer ourselves for your glory, for the building up of your church. In Jesus' name we pray. Diana Rositsky is going to read our scripture this morning that comes out of the Gospel of Matthew. If you'd like to read along, open the Pew Bibles to page 11 of the New Testament. We're reading the 11th chapter, I think, beginning at verse 28. All right? Beginning at verse 28.
Yeah. Come to me, all you that are weary and are carrying heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light.
I want to begin this morning to challenge you to think back when you were a child, and I want one-sentence lessons that you were told by your parents. One-sentence lessons. Like, don't run with scissors. You know, okay, you're laughing. What is it? Come on, honey.
Carrot said, sit down and shut up. I understood.
You didn't understand that. Sit down and shut up. Okay. Don't run with scissors. Children should be seen and not heard. What? Pretty is as pretty does. What you want and what you get are two different things.
Joe jumped off the bridge. Would you jump off too?
If your friend jumped off a bridge, would you jump off too? If you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. You know, if we sit back, there's a lot of memories. I started writing down a whole bunch. But the one that stuck out with me, well, for some reason, and maybe it's because I was working on a sermon, it was walk, don't run. You know, and that was always the thing. We were on a mission trip, and I was going to bring a shirt over with me. And this one woman was totally perplexed by the shirt, because in the back of the shirt it says, I run with scissors. You know, and she was taught that you don't run with scissors. So after about an entire day of seeing me wear the shirt, so I have to ask, why do you run with scissors? Well, I had to explain that my son's an athletic trainer. You know, and when somebody's hurt, they run out onto the field, and they're always carrying scissors. And so it finally made sense. And I think sometimes it isn't until we grow up, we begin to mature, that we begin to fully understand what those one-sentence lessons meant and the significance of them. You know, I think walk, don't run is a good place to begin this morning. Because let's be honest, a great metaphor for our life could be a NASCAR race. You know, men and women just kind of running around in circle. Doesn't that sound like everyday life at times? We just seem to be going and going and going. And even when we get into bed, our bodies may be laying down, but our mind is still racing and racing. And so, I might question NASCAR being a sport, because I always thought that NASCAR was an acronym for non-athletic sports centered around rednecks. But I don't question that NASCAR is a great metaphor for life. And you know what? We live in a day and age where it seems like things aren't slowing down. And we almost, I don't want to say honor someone whose life is constant, but somebody whose calendar is filled with activities, somebody that's always doing this. We kind of, you know, how many of us are impressed when we look at an obituary that goes the entire length? You know, it's got, wow, it's just like, that person was really, look at all the things they did. a word. When I was a kid, we were multitasking. Matter of fact, if we tried to do too many things at one time, we were scolded. You know, I was told I could not watch television, listen to the radio, and do my homework at the same time. I could. My parents said I couldn't, but I felt I could. So we kind of, we're always saying very proudly, well, I'm multitasking. You know, pat me on the back. I'm multitasking. But I think when we get so busy in life that things suffer, relationships suffer, our work suffers, our health suffers. And let's be honest, busyness is not something thrust upon you. You choose to be busy. You choose to be busy. By all of the things that you say yes to, you are choosing to be busy. You know, one of the things when one of the guys came home from school and said, gee, I want to do this, our initial reaction is, Mom and I need to talk about that. Yeah, but I want to do that. Because I realized that whatever they wanted to do, we were doing with them. If they wanted to do something at the high school and they didn't have their driver's license, who was getting them there? Who was picking them up? So whatever they said yes to, basically we were saying yes to even though we didn't want to. And there were times that we said no because it was going to negatively impact our family time together. It was going to take away that evening when we sat as a family for a game night, television off, phones unanswered, and if we had cell phones back there, they all would have been off. Because that was our time not to be busy, but to be still, to be quiet with each other, have a conversation, play a game. And it was that slowing down, that making dinner mandatory, that we're going to sit at the table for dinner, no distractions. Phone can ring 23 times it will go unanswered. It was that slowing down and having conversation, getting rid of the distractions that I feel began to build up your health, gave you a more healthy relationship. Because you weren't running off to someplace. I'm willing to guess somewhere, somebody's house, somebody said this morning, hurry up, we're going to be late for church, let's get going, get in the car. And it happens. But what can we do to choose to slow down? I got to ask you, are you one of these people when you're in the supermarket, get to the checkout line, and you're doing the math? Oh God, how many people are in that line? How many items are in their cart? And you want to pick the line that's going to go the fastest. Because we're busy, you know? And then we get online. And the same part, we're not content that we got on that line. Because then we're busy seeing where we would have been if we got in front of that guy. Right? Come on. Notoriously, if you want